All right, so here we go again with Mr. D.L. Hughley finding his way onto my channel. It just amazes me how a grown man can conduct himself. Now, typically when I do my videos, I like to jot down some notes before I go in, and I try to keep it to a theme. But when it comes to Mr. D.L. Hughley, I don't even have to do that. I turn the video on because it pops up, and I watch it for like 15 seconds, and I'm like, wow, I just got to talk about it and just point out things. So there's no real theme in this, except for I guess if you wanted the takeaway would be don't act like this dude. Um, then that's the theme. But anyway, moving on.
I'll be sure. We're certainly praying that he's doing well. Get better soon, Al. Listen, it is not justice when it only applies to just us. It is not accountability when the only time you hear that word used in society is when it's explaining why black children need to be responsible for their actions, how they need to interact with authority figures.
Well, quote unquote, black children should be responsible for their actions, and they should hold themselves accountable, and the parents should hold them accountable as well, regardless if other races are doing that to their children or not. Regardless. And I think a big issue is that, when you call yourself black, you're always going to be worried about what the fuck's going on in the white man's room or backyard. And that's why we have to stop calling ourselves that. That's why I don't call myself that. Because black is a color. Black doesn't have any culture. And black history is literally would break down what the etymology of the word black is. That's quote unquote black history. But we can't keep complaining about the same shit. It's been like that. It's been like that. Am I sitting here saying just suck it up and fucking deal with it? Yeah, kind of, because if you're not going to try to make the change that I'm telling you to change and take back the goddamn community, and then seek economic freedom, financial freedom for us, so that way we can make a change and hold people accountable that are supposed to be helping us make the change. If you're not gonna do all that, then then I don't want to hear you bitching. I don't want to hear you bitching.
It can't be accountability when it's just us. The President of the United States sought to overthrow the government. He sought to use
Now this stuff I'm getting tired of, because if that's what he did, right, and it's so fucking clear that you, D.L. Hughley, beyond a shadow of a doubt that he had intentions to overthrow the government, then this man would be in jail, locked up, or probably someone would have fucking killed him already by now. But considering that that's not the case, and I'm not sitting here saying that I have the utmost faith in the goddamn government, because I don't. I'm probably a person who's on leaning more towards the side as being like very, very skeptical of everything the government says and does. But I say that to say this: if that's truly what his intentions were, and you're privy to that information, D.L. Hughley, then I would imagine that the CIA and the FBI would be privy to that information as well, and they would have done something about it. Period. And not let Joe Biden win and then let Trump leave office. Right? Because then obviously they would if they knew about it, then they would want Trump to succeed in overthrowing it. So I'm tired of all of this shit, because it's like you're just talking out of your fucking ass, man. You're talking out of your ass, and I'm not sitting here trying to be like a freaking publicist for fucking Trump, because I'm not. I really don't care, but it's just when I hear a grown ass man bitching and complaining about this shit, still it's like, dude, get the fuck over it. Get over it. You're over here fucking trying to fearmonger, and for what? For what? Talk about Joe Biden and how you're going to hold him accountable. Talk about Kamala Harris and how you're going to hold her accountable. Talk about that shit, please.
Intimidation and violence to do it. He used his words to action that. There are several states across the United States of America where rappers are held responsible for their words. They can be jailed for their words if they incite violence. Oftentimes, we hear society where we blame our violence.
A lot of these rappers get jailed because they snitch on themselves. More so that than because of what they're saying in their lyrics. You know, you guys would have to let me know, update me if I'm wrong on that. But for the most part, the rappers that I hear that get arrested, they're the ones that fucking snitching on themselves in their fucking music. I don't really see rappers getting reprimanded or freaking arrested for having super explicit lyrics. I mean, like we've had some pretty hardcore fucking rappers over the past since rap began. You know what I mean? Rap has been a politically charged genre for a very long time. So I really, all right, DL, okay.
On video games or graphic movies, we blame their deeds on those entertainment's words. The President of the United States used words that he knew would incite. Those people then in turn stormed the Capitol. 6 people were dead, over 150 people injured. Several police officers injured very badly, and of course, people died. And that was at the hands of the president. Why is it that
was at the hands of the president? He says. Oh, okay.
We can hold a hip hop artist responsible for his words? Why is it that we can?
Why don't we hold you responsible for your words? You come out every goddamn day trying to fearmonger and preach this fear shit to the quote unquote black people. Why don't we hold you accountable, man? Getting people all worked up and thinking everything's fucking racist. Like, why don't we hold you accountable? You're a rich celebrity, right? When you put out a lot of fucking misinformation and disinformation out there. Oh man.
Hold the gaming industry responsible for their words. We have alcohol responsible for their actions. But the President of the United States...
Alcohol should be responsible for their actions. It should be. They supply a drug to the American people. Alcohol is a drug. It's a legal drug, but it's a drug nonetheless. And sometimes they do things immorally, the alcohol industry, and they should be held accountable. That's what the government's for, to check them, because if not, it will get out of hand. And then, you'd have freaking an alcohol cartel, running around here.
Is not. There are several senators saying, well, it's too late, he'll be out of office. It is never too late for justice. Isn't that what you tell us? It's never too late for justice. Even though he's out of office, he caused an insurrection. The President of the United States sought to overthrow the government, and there is...
Again, he's speaking so strongly, like, oh, he sought to. Then prove it. Don't just sit there and say, oh, because of the words. Yo, hughley, you're a celebrity. You say a whole bunch of crazy shit every goddamn day. If someone actually fucking, got to the point of like fearmonger overload based off all the fucking shit that you spew every day, and they went and acted on it, then would we have the green light to come in and lock your silly ass the fuck up? I don't think you'd be saying that then. I think you'd be like, oh no, that person clearly was mentally ill or unstable or whatever the case may be. Regardless, you'll come up with something to say, you know what, no, I'm not responsible for that. So spare me.
No moratorium on it. And even if there are statute of limitations, it certainly wouldn't be 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later. He did it. He needs to suffer the consequences and not just saying, I'm sorry. I guess it's bad enough when a powerful white man just has to say he's sorry and loses his job.
This is crazy. Oh, he needs to do and not just say I'm sorry. So now you get to fucking like this is what I'm like. What are you saying? So you get to gauge when he's truly sorry and he can't say sorry. Like, what do you want? What do you want? You sound like a fucking angry black woman. Like, you don't know what the fuck you want.
It's not enough. He broke the law. He did something no president in the history of the United States has done. He did something that hasn't happened to the Capitol since the British did it hundreds of years ago. And now you have Republican senators acting like there's no recourse, that should happen to him, that he's out of office. He lost his job because he was voted out. He wasn't impeached and lost his job. He lost his job because the voters of America decided that he was incompetent and they kicked him out. And he decided that he wasn't going to accept that and sought an insurrection to overturn that very choice.
Again, if that was the case, don't you think more people would have died? Don't you think it would have resembled something more closely, or more closer to an actual insurrection? Don't you think if that was truly the fucking plan, the goal?
In every way possible to disengage or disrupt the American process. He sought to disenfranchise black and brown voters all over the country, and he sought to use the Justice Department and whatever political apparatus he could. And when that didn't work, he decided to send an armed mob at the very time they were certifying the votes to do it. There is no statute of limitations on that. This president is wrong. We can send athletes to jail and they're held responsible for having a dogfighting ring. We can send rappers.
So you're saying that athletes shouldn't be held responsible for having a dogfighting ring? And I'm a huge Michael Vick fan. Well, I used to be. I used to love Michael Vick. He was my idol growing up as a kid. But are you saying that he shouldn't have gone to jail? He shouldn't be made an example of? That what he was doing was okay?
To jail for rapping lyrics that they feel incite violence. We can hold the gaming industry accountable for what it does. If all those things are possible, surely the leader of the free world can be held responsible for the word he's used that has caused death and destruction and distrust among this government. That's a little note from the GD.
Well, anyway, yeah, that's about it on that. DL's just, got his pants all in a bunch. And he doesn't have any solutions, because if he did, he'd be offering them. Instead, he'd rather just fucking come on to his radio show and yelling like, I hate Trump. I hate him so much. You hate him. He's not even president anymore. You're still talking about him and you're still hating on him and you got all the energy going towards him. It's very bitch-like, But anyway, I'm out.